So, hi traders. Today I'm with Gordon, one of our funded traders that is now funded with a Freestyle 100K account. You also you've got evaluations with us as well. So overall, I think you've got about probably 150, 140,000 under management. Correct, Gordon?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Roughly. So, Gordon, please tell everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit where you're from, how you got into trading.
Sure. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I've been doing trading for a while now, Forex specifically for about oh 5 or 6 years. It's been up and down and all over the place, but yeah, about 5 or 6 years with Forex. And I've been enjoying it. It's been pretty good.
And when you say with Forex only that long, did you start with something else, or how did you
Oh,
get into trading or markets in a whole?
oh boy. I come from a family where we always thought about investing. There was always talk about investing. So I've always invested in things and started with just mutual funds and such, and then a little bit of stocks, and actually did a little bit of options, and eventually came around to doing Forex. So
Mhm.
I enjoy Forex more than the other stuff because it's more dynamic, it's faster, and it suits me a little bit better, I think.
Nice, fantastic. And your kind of strategy, I look at your accounts and you're in and out, but would you say you're kind of a swing trader, or would you count yourself as a scalper?
Probably more as a scalper because I do like to get in and I watch
Mhm.
things and I get out fairly quickly.
Mhm.
Sometimes some trades go fairly long, and then you probably consider them a swing. But
Mhm.
mostly, I'm a scalper. I would say.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go through a couple of your dashboards, and then obviously I'll leave it to you to tell us a little bit how you got there, a little bit about
Sure.
your tips and stuff for other traders. But I'll share some of your dashboard here. So let's have a. So this is the evaluation. You had an evaluation that you've done with us, but first we'll go to this is the 75K boot camp account. So for people that don't know, boot camp, you have 100 trades that you have to make in order to complete the boot camp.
Freestyle.
Freestyle,
Yeah.
yes. You do 100 trades, and then we actually test and look at your performance and how you've actually done over the freestyle, and then you're actually funded afterwards. So Gordon, this is his. He's passed the 50. He actually is on the 75. And he did that with the performance factor that was over 2 and a winning factor, which is quite good. Out of the 30 he needed, he actually had 40, which is fantastic. Um, yeah, and I see here you keep the drawdowns. You keep small. You don't really go into much drawdown on the account ever. I look at your accounts quite a lot, and you don't go into much drawdown, which is good. You know, you're
Yeah, I
risking a
try
little
not
bit and
to.
you're making a lot more. So,
Yeah.
um, where did you actually build up your strategy that you used here?
This came from lots of years of failing a lot of times. Um, for this particular stuff, the freestyle, which really resonated with me because every time I would trade, and traditionally I would look at a trade and I would try to make sure it's working out as an individual trade. But for the freestyle, what I did is I looked at how I work with things and decided instead of looking at the individual trades, I would work with baskets. So
Mm,
what I did is I found a technical strategy that sort of follows trends and stuff. And I found a time of day, which is coming up shortly, actually. And what I do is I have an EA that will look at that strategy and look at all the pairs and open um, any pairs that fit with that strategy. So when I turn this on, it starts filling up a basket. So I have a probably 5, 6, 7, even up to 10 trades that get opened right away, and they're
mm,
small trades. And what I do is instead of looking at just the individual trades that I have going, I look at the basket as a whole.
mm,
So now you've got a basket of a bunch of trades, and you concentrate on the losers, and make sure that they're in line. If they're not, you cut those. But you instead of just looking at the one trade, you look at the whole basket, and that seems to be a little bit easier for me because now I'm not afraid to cut losers because I see that there's some winners as well. And most of the time, if your default strategy is sort of good and it's following a trend, usually it turns positive.
For traders that don't know what a basket is, could you explain to them what a basket is?
Sure. If you're trading, usually you would take just one trade on a pair. For a basket, you take multiple trades on multiple different pairs. So instead of just one trade for your USD, you'll probably have 10 different trades for your USD, Great Britain, Japan, depends on what fits your strategy. So you're working with multiple trades at once.
Fantastic. And are you more of a discretionary trader, or do you really focus on taking everything that you've learned and putting it into an EA and just using that EA to kind of take out the heaviness of the psychology and everything behind it?
Yeah, sure. And that's a big thing too. The psychology is like 90% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I try to work with an EA because traditionally I love pushing the button. I love making the trades. So if I use an EA and I set my strategy okay, then I rather have that open my trades for me. Then I will manually manage the trades as they go. But opening the trades, I try to use an EA for that.
Nice. So all of the money that you actually make on hundreds on the freestyle, it's actually 100% yours. So after you reach the 100 trades, naturally you would then go on to the next level, which is your 100K. So you started trading the 100K account. Yeah. So all the profits on here are totally yours. And I see now you're starting to build this one up as well. So the same kind of strategy. This one's actually going a lot neater as well. You don't seem to be going into much drawdown at all. It's a really nice equity curve so far. And you've done around 50 trades, which is
knock on wood. Hopefully it'll go that way.
Yeah.
The time that I'm opening these baskets, I'm sort of tuning that a little bit. So it's looking a little bit better. Yeah.
Perfect. This is your evaluation. So why am I going into this now is because I want to pick your brain of really, did you change your kind of way of working when you were actually on a freestyle account to the way that you were working on an evaluation? Because this is a very different totally. Kind of equity curve to, let's say, this one. Yeah. I see how many trades have you done on this total deals. That's a lot more deals as well. So Can you tell me a little bit about that? And
this is all to do with psychology. Nice. These funds are different. I find that when I have to reach a profit target, then I sort of I don't monitor the trades as well. But when I'm using the freestyle, because I can actually put a number, a profit factor, and a winning trade number to it, then I can just concentrate on that. And I don't have to concentrate on what the actual dollar value is. So for freestyle, it doesn't matter if I'm a 75K account, 100K, it doesn't really matter. I use a small enough lot size so that I'm not worried about the baskets, overrunning or doing a large drawdowns. Whereas the other accounts where you're looking at a profit target, those numbers are important. Those lot sizes are important. And for those, I haven't. So some of the evaluations I've passed, but a lot of the times I get too aggressive and it causes a lot of drawdown, and it hasn't worked out.
I think one of the reasons why we were so happy about bringing up the freestyle is because we see that a lot of traders, when they are stressed and they are put under pressures that aren't natural to when obviously trading is stressful anyway. Trading on your own is stressful if you're in a personal account. Having a target and having a time on top of all of that stuff really puts it into, makes it a lot harder. And that's where I feel like the freestyle, for everybody that I speak to, they really like the freestyle because it takes away all of that pressure. And I think from what I'm seeing here, that's you like working without that pressure on top. I see.
Yeah, it works a lot better, and when you're dealing with the freestyle and the lots are so small because you're just trying to reach those numbers,
Yep.
then it makes it a lot easier because you're not thinking of the actual dollar monetary value of it. You're just playing with numbers.
Do you feel not looking at the dollar amount for anyone psychologically is actually a lot better than, let's say I've got a personal account and I'm always looking at that profit? Do you reckon that has a damaging effect into my performance, or do you reckon where would you take that for the psychology part?
And I totally agree with that. And for myself, and I'm sure everybody is different, for myself, that was a huge change for me, even in the last 5 years of trading. Once I stopped thinking about the numbers as being actual money and being attached to the actual idea of it being money, once I started just thinking about it as numbers and using it sort of like playing a game, things turned out much better, actually. Yeah.
Wow, nice. And where did you actually learn to trade? So obviously, I know that mutual funds, you're putting money away. It's kind of the safe thing. Put it in, forget about it. Trading's a lot different. Trading's the different ball game. So how did you actually make that change, and how did you actually learn how to trade the way that you're trading?
It cost a lot of money, a lot of money, mostly through failures and failures and failures and failures. I started trading with my own money. Actually, when I started doing Forex, the thing that got me was writing the EAs, because I love programming. So I wrote a bunch of MT4 EAs, and I found that the strategies that I was building, they were already available retailly. So I purchased those and moved those, but I've lost money personally through small accounts, because when you're playing with your own money and you're not really sure, you only put small amounts in with your broker. So you're only playing with small dollar value, and that's so easy to lose. So through failing a whole bunch of times, watching a lot of YouTubes, looking at strategies, figuring out how things worked, it costs a lot of time, a lot of money.
Do you feel it's a lot easier to lose because you're more inclined to risk a lot more to get those bigger kind of profits out of the account? So I know a lot of people that, I think there's a big discussion of why use a prop firm, whereas you can put $100 into your personal account and just start flipping that with 100 leverage, because we don't offer a lot of leverage here, and there's a reason for that. But why do you reckon people burn their personal accounts so fast?
I think at the beginning, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not sure, and you use small amounts, then it's easy to burn through those, because just increasing lot size is just a small amount can easily turn against you, especially if you're not disciplined and you're not sure what you're doing. It can burn those small accounts very quickly.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I know a big change for a lot of people is netting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How did you get on with netting? What was the kind of process you learning how to deal with that? Because netting for a lot of other markets, that's kind of the standard, is a netting account. And only really in Forex we see many different hedging accounts and different modes. So how did you deal with that?
Using the Freestyle netting account is the first time in the 5 years that I've ever come across an actual netting account.
Yeah.
I read what it was before I started, but I didn't really understand until I actually started trading with it. And I found it very interesting, because I'm used to being able to hedge and open up baskets of the same pair many times. So it took me a little bit to understand exactly how it worked, but overall, it's interesting. It has its benefits, pros and cons for sure.
What is it? What do you reckon the benefits, and what do you reckon is the cons of netting overall?
Well, yeah. Well, usually, see, initially I thought that, say you open a trade and you're going in the wrong direction. Um, I thought I was being smart, and it's like, okay, if I want to change the direction, but I don't want it to cost a trade, then if I do a trade for, say, half a lot, I can do a full lot in the other direction as a netting account, and it'll switch it around, and it'll be the same trade. It'll only count as one trade. And then I thought about it, like, I could never lose this way.
Hmm.
If I need to switch, I'll just switch them all the time. So I did try that,
Hmm.
it accumulates, and
Hmm.
it eventually it didn't work out because my half a lot switched around a bunch of times, and it ended up
Be in a bigger
being count.
position.
It ended up being counted when it was closed
Yeah.
as a larger position, so it didn't count in my freestyle. But it
Yeah.
takes a little bit to get used to.
Mhm. I think what people don't realize is many in a netting account, like the P&L and everything, it's the exact same as if it was on a netting and a hedging account. It just visually, it gives you the benefit of seeing that break even point. So you
Yeah.
can see where your break even, and it makes it a lot cleaner on I come from trading with netting. So when I first came over to hedge, and suddenly I was opening up different positions. Suddenly I've got loads of lines on my screen. I'm like, what is going on? So
Too true. Yeah.
yeah, it's quite an interesting thing. And now all the money that you make on this account is yours. It's 100% yours. What is your plans now to grow this account? Because obviously scaling, we scale up to 4 million. The moment you're on 100K, so you have got quite a little bit to go. So what's your kind of plans to scale it up?
I think so far things have been working out with the freestyle fairly well. I've been moving up the different ranks probably every 2 weeks. I think is about what I'm averaging, probably 5 or 6 days.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and I think I'm going to just concentrate on doing that until I
Hmm.
get up to a larger size, just to see how far I can actually take the challenge. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to think about the dollar value or anything like that. I'm just going to think about it as a challenge and just see how far I can move that.
Fantastic. I like the way of not looking at it as a monetary value, just taking it
That's
as one
big.
step at a time. Because I feel like just having that value in their head. Sometimes having 100K under management for some people, even that just blows them off their performance. Because it's a lot of money
Yeah, yeah.
to have. And what would be your tips then for somebody that's starting the freestyle, or somebody that is currently trading on their personal account and is profitable and now looking to get funded?
I think for sure, like for me, it was a big thing of not thinking about the money. Even with freestyle, just forget what the dollar value is, and trade with small lot size. If you do a drawdown with a small lot size, it won't be large enough that you won't be able to recover from it.
Mm,
So start with the small lot size. Forget about the dollar values. Forget about the 4 millions. Forget about the 100Ks. Just forget about the actual values until you're comfortable with passing the evaluations.
mhm. And with regards to personal or prompt account, what would you recommend to somebody that to trade their personal account or leverage what prop firms actually offer, or what do you look at that?
I think the prop firms are super great
Hmm.
because I mean, if you take $500 and you put it into a prop firm, you might lose it. Sure, you put that into a brokerage fund that's a personal account, you may lose that. Sure, right? You're going to lose it. But if you learn what you're doing, then using a prop firm can make those returns much better. And if you're doing well with a prop firm, then what you're making from the prop firm, you can put that into your personal account and grow that as well. So
Exactly.
so you can use your prop firms to learn a little bit. It might cost a little bit, but it's a little less stressful because you're not playing with your own money. And you
Yep.
can learn how to trade and do it personally.
Hmm. And with regards to EAs and stuff like that, where can somebody learn to maybe build their EA if they feel like they're good at pressing the button, they enjoy
Yeah,
pressing the button, but it's that emotion behind that's the struggle. And we've had actually a couple of traders that trade with EAs. I see a lot of
yeah,
traders that do it to help them, and it works. So when
absolutely.
somebody wants to do the same kind of thing, how do they go about it?
I think that if you have a programming background, building an EA is great because you learn how things work technically. But
Mhm.
if you're thinking about using an EA, but you don't have a technical background, then there are tools out there, and there are EAs that are also available for building strategies. So you don't need to actually have a technical background to do it. And if you are on the Discord, you can also talk with the people, and they'll
Yeah.
give you some ideas on how to build those without having a technical background.
Yeah, we've just implemented now the automization channel. So
Yeah.
got quite a lot of people actually in there as well that are always talking. So
And
it's
they're taking upon themselves to coordinate and talk to each other and collaborate. It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. It also shows to me that there's a lot of people that like using EAs when,
Yeah.
I first came into the fivers and first discovered obviously Forex. I was in a different kind of in different kind of markets, and no EAs people enjoy using them. So maybe I'll look into it as well in the future, maybe putting
There you go.
my
Join
strategy
the
into it.
Discord. We'll help you out.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, Gordon, thank you very much for taking the time to actually speak with us today. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, take
Anytime.
care and good luck with the rest of the account. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much.